Painting goo 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 goo. That's it. Play that piano, you filthy monkey. Painting goo 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 goo. Stretching goo. Painting goo. There we go. It's painting goo. Oh, I must have knocked loose the rusty chi in my spider. Sip, sip. Glorious lemon water. Delicious. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Stretching goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. Glorious. It's painting goo. Painting goo. Painting me. Painting you. Painting goo. Painting goo. That's it, you marvelous monkey. Remind these filthy mortals what beauty is. Painting goo, 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 goo. Painting goo. Painting goo, 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 goo. Stretching goo. My spider knows it's time for the goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. That's it, you petrified primate. Bring it home. Let's do it for the Japanites. Remind these filthy mortars the meaning of painting goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. Painting goo. Oh, it's so beautiful. This petrified primate prays this piano so well. It makes me weep all over my kimono. If you have any honor, you will pay the monkey. Click the link in the description. He needs money. The poor little thing. Why? Because I do not pay him. Greetings and welcome to another glorious episode of Painting Goo with I, your host, Defenderu, demigod of Painting Goo. I am, of course, also joined by Tobias Speakus Croas, Dinger of the Dong-U, and Boris the Bear, our resident cartographer. And last, but certainly not least, we have Garos. This fucking mouse click on the wrong thing. Shit! Ruined my intro! Garos! The giant feline, who wears an Aramirium bucket and sunglasses to keep his X-ray vision powers at bay. He also reminds you to like and subscribe to PEINTEINGU if you have any honor. Rest I fling him at you. The last thing you want is for me to fling a tiger at you. Even if it is a paper tiger. Paper tiger or not, it's still a tiger. And the last thing you want is for it to be flung at your face. Now, excuse me, whilst I descend into proper PEINTEINGU posture. Unfortunate. The stool is stiff. Glorious. Right. My glorious Topnotto is now fully on display and ready to fend off any Oni who try to interrupt the goo flow. It is Friday, my beloved Japanites, and all you other filthy mortals. Today, we return to Anguilla, where we have mischievous monkeys trying to kill Steven Seager as he shits on a shipwreck. Indeed, Friday is a glorious day for PEINTEINGU. As we engage in the goo, and I rode this parrot with goo, we should select appropriate tunage for today. I believe the more upbeat synthy shit is required. Is that the right one? Yes. Right. Engage tunage. Glorious. I place my royal rag upon my demi-divine knee in preparation for the goo. I grip my bitches firmly and prepare to get them wet. Plunge her, hair first, deep into the bucket. Swirl her about the place. And then, beat her. Your bitch is now ready for the goo. Such glorious tunage. My chi is now flowing. Right. Anguilla, here we come. Shall we finish this PEINTEINGU this fine Friday? I haven't a crew, but either way, it's PEINTEINGU! Ha! Right. Get your chi flowing. Monkeys, sharks, seagulls called Steven. This place needs a crab or two. Methinks it is a sandy beach after all. Gotta have a sandy beach without some crabu. Maxtoutbaru, Desmondu, Sabru, Orunku, Martiu, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Is your chi flowing? It better be! Oh, where's my goo? PEINTEINGU, 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 PEINTEINGU. My Hara is assaulting me again. Roding the parrot with the goo is always a calming experience. Soothing to the soul. PEINTEINGU, goo, 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 goo. Right. A crab. An orange crab. We take some red and a samayaro and we make orange. Defendulu, Kobasan. Despite being half Japanese, my Japanese is shit. You must explain yourself, Arunku. What menu, Kuma-san? The extent of my Japu is occasionally saying, Kusu! Painting goo goo goo. Ah, beautiful Arangi. A crab with a yarmulke? Crabaka. Paintingu. Still monster crab. Kaiju Krabu. Paintingu. Goo goo goo. Paintingu. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Doodle-doodle. More yarrow in the Arangi. Oh, the canvas is not secured. How dare I? The last thing you want is for your canvas to wobber. Painting Google. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Painting Google. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hereditary. Crabber tastes very good. Many people say crab delicious. I have not tried it. Remember to smash the like button like it has insulted your ancestors. Paint goo, paint goo, painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Who's a beeping? How dare you? I am trying to painting you. Methinks one of my neighbour has been not to you. The police entered their domain recently. I was spying on them through my window. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Steven Seeger is Steven Kamome? Painting goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. So beautiful. Bright orange highlights. Within a few moments, you can see I have constructed a giant kaiju crab before your very eyes. Truly, I am a demigod of Paintingu. Undeniable. This is why you should pay for Paintingu. Link in description. Oh, methinks this is one of my favorite. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo goo. Painting goo goo. Crabbo must have big, sharp, dangerous-looking claws. Otherwise, is he really a Crabbo? Ah, Brother Grifu-sama! Welcome to Paintingu! You don't get much more exotic than Paintingu. Kuma equals bear / Kani equals crab. Kuma Kani! Bear crab. Man bear crab. Hi, Crabbo is a very good indeed, especially in Keiku for crab cake. you said that at the same time a bus was backing up outside, and I was like, how the hell did you hear that? I am inside your headu! Ah! Sayonara, Staburo-sama! I need some whiter, like Europe. Paintingu. Ah, here is my favorite one. Paintingu. Crab with snake with large fangs and its pinchers. Ooh, glorious. Paintingu. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. A snake, you say? Perhaps a python? Cobra? Anaconda! Anaconda! Just like everything gets an ooh, I love it. Like. Ah, sip sip. Paintingu brings you Ramen Sake, sponsored by Iran. I was downloading one of my old episodes, or like, yeah, well, technically I was downloading one of the old episodes of Paintingu to put it up on Rumble. I was like skipping through it and all, like, you know, fucking like 3 minutes, 5 minutes at a time, like, and I can't remember the context, but I skipped to a bit in the stream. It's like episode 117, the Liberian Leaping Yeti, and the second I skipped to it, it was just me going, Paintingu! Brought to you by Iran! I fucking pissed myself laughing. I can't remember half the shit I've said on this stream. Oh, it's hilarious. There's fucking Nazis on a U-boat off the coast of Liberia shooting a Yeti that's mid-air and it has a utility belt on it and all that. Oh, I love doing this stream. Paintingu. How are you, Boris? Are you well? Are you where? Paintingu. Goo 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 goo. Right. A snake. I must have paid a snake. Ah, so beautiful. I love this bit. Oh, glorious! Oh, wrong bit. Paintingu. Painting goo 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 goo. Make it a fantasy snake. Give it some extra panache. Painting Anaconda Cobra hybrid? Anacobra. Cobra Conda. Coconda. Canacoda. It's like you get to fast forward 10 years from now and fucking like I've lost my mind and like I'm in like a mental hospital because I can't speak anymore because speaking like Japu and like fucking with words on the stream for hours a day has like melted my brain. Like I just like I'm like babbling like oh, sometimes I feel like it might end up like that. Like, funny enough though, it's only while I'm streaming. Afterwards I'm fine. Mid-flow, I'm fucked. Jormungandr. Some Viking shit is just there's loads of stuff in different languages that is just like enjoyable to say. Jormungandr is one of those things that's like it just sounds awesome when you say it. Like, right, make it a greener. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Paint goo, paint goo. Oh, my tummy is a grumbling. Defenderu hungry. Oh, gross. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. Paint goo rant sip. Paint goo rant sip. Paint goo. In a matter of minutes, I have constructed a kaiju crabber and snaker. You have literally never watched paint dry like this before. Remember to like and subscribe and share a painting goo if you have any honor. Painting goo, goo goo goo. Methinks Pingu? Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Somebody has a paid for painting goo! Glorious! Who has honor on this fine day? Mischievous monkey cran! Ooh. The rest of the message appears to have poo smeared over it. Ah, indeed. This is very common when engaging with monkeys. They cannot hurt themselves, but fring the shit. Verbally, physically, interdimensionary! Apologies. I am still bitter from the fucking Monkey King! Domo! Mischievous monkey you! For your patronage to Paintingu. See? Even a clan of monkeys has more honor than you filthy mortars! Shame! I must make a more greener. Painting goo goo goo. Is like dragon snake. It's like Drake. It's like snagging. Paint. Goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Paint paint! This crab, very fierce so. Right. More yarrow in the snake's eye hole. More pinku on his frappy bits. Sip sip. When I was a teenager, you could buy squirrel monkeys for less than $20. Beautiful. I would have had 10 of them. Squirrel monkeys. Like, I don't know what a squirrel monkey is, but just like squirrel monkey just sounds like the best thing ever. Like half monkey, half squirrel. Like the speed, agility, and like nut gathering tenacity of a squirrel mixed with a monkey. Oh. I'm just imagining like a giant, like a much bigger squirrel now hiding coconuts instead of like. I want to paint that now. $20 was a lot of money then for a teenager. Yeah, probably. My boyfriend was going to get me one, but Mama said no. I should have asked Daddy.
I know. I used to think it was hilarious. I have a sister who's 9 years younger than me, right? So like, I used to find it really funny when she would try and play my parents off each other before they got divorced. Like, I got to see that a few times, like, where like, and like, it was hilarious. Like, sometimes, like, especially when she was like still not a toddler, but like, you know, like 6-ish or something, like, you know, she would literally go like, "Mammy, blah blah blah," and then me ma would be like, "Ask your father," or like, ask daddy," or whatever, like, or whatever, like, and she'd like just go into the next. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting that wrong. Like, I'm butchering it. Like, she would ask me ma for something in the kitchen, and then me ma would be like, "No," or whatever. It was usually the other way around. Actually, it was usually me dad was in the sitting room, and then she'd go in and ask him for something, and I'd be sitting on the like opposite side of the sitting room watching something with my father, right? And she would come in, ask him for something, and he'd be like, "No." He wouldn't say ask your mother, he'd be like, "No." And she would immediately just go into the kitchen, and you would hear her ask me ma the same thing, and me and my dad would just look at each other and start laughing. It's like sometimes he'd like shout in, be like, "Your mother's not going to like." Asking your ma doesn't change with that fact that I said no. Like, my kids are hilarious. Like, they're so funny. Like, no filter, no like social skills or anything. Like, so, you know, they just like say shit like and do stuff. Like, their desires are like blatantly obvious sometimes. Like, and it's just so funny. Like, kids are fucking hilarious. Get some Euro. Painting goo goo. Goo doo doo doo. Painting goo goo. Hey, goo, hey, ding, goo. Ebola break? They smuggled monkey for shops. I think Ebola's one of those things where like, is there actually a record of like a load of people dying from Ebola? Because like all I've ever seen is like Ebola is like one of the worst things ever, and then there's only ever like one guy that dies from it, like, or some shit. If your mom says ask your dad, you just leave for him and then tell mom that dad said it's okay. I didn't do that though, I swear. You know, like. Hey, Painting goo 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 goo. It's a pathogen that's too lethal. Is it a pathogen or is it a bacteria? Basically liquefies you. But yeah, Ebola is a very bad way to die. Yeah, I've heard it, like, basically, that's what I've heard, is like you're bleeding out your ass, bleeding out your eyes, you fucking shit, like, it just kills you. Just murders you, like. Has like 100% death rate or something, doesn't it? It's like you're playing that game, what was it, Plague Inc. It's like your disease, your plague is too lethal. It's not spreading to people, like. What became the meta in that? I remember the meta in Plague Inc. was like design something that has a high, contagious factor. It's really contagious, low lethality, and then make sure it gets to all the major airports and seaports. And once it hit, like, what was it, Asia or South Africa or something, it would spread on practically everywhere, and then you would slowly increase the lethality of it, and then you'd like wipe out most people, if not everyone. Plague Inc. is a really cool game, really addictive. Ah, Mayhem Maciu! And I just merged Margie and Macy there. Maciu! Welcome! Baxter has chosen to sleep on top of my PS4 on the top of my bookshelf. People who own cats and game have some of the funniest stories. Like, just like the cats just like sleeping on them, trying to get all over the controller, like snuggling up to the back of the PlayStation. Like, dude, it's gonna overheat. Like, what the fuck? Like, the fuck away from it. But it's cozy. It's like stupid fucking. Like, I love cats. I'd love to have a cat. I miss having a dog, but it'd be cool to like see what it's like to have a cat now. Painting goo 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 goo. Way too much red. Fuck! That's that Contagion game where the hardest country in the world to infect is Madagascar. I think so, yeah. Yeah, Plague Inc. is really cool. It's just one of those tablet, like, actually, I think you can get it on PlayStation Network. I think they eventually put it on console. They want to mingle their smell with yours, like. Yeah, I think I always found it very, like, endearing how, like, cats show their affection. They, like, rub up against you and shit, like, and then, like, sit on you and purr and stuff, like. Allegedly, cats purring can, like, heal you and shit, like. Has like a certain vibrational frequency that promotes healing in the body. Painting goo, painting goo, goo, goo. Painting goo goo. dark. Way too dark. PEINTEINGU. I'm gonna let all this dry for a minute. Need to give this monkey his beer. PEINTEINGU, goo 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 goo. I think I'm gonna give it to him in a like a fucking flask. Like a what would it be, like a Einstein?
Dick Fordu, Wagamu. Iron Baru, Wagamu.
Looks like he is taking a picture, the monkey. Usually I just get it on the back of my scalp under the hair, which crystal balls, vibration. This cat loves it. He said, "You suffer for some form of ailment, monsieur." Apparently no one wants to adopt me even though I'm an animal. You playing a video game or something, like? Trying to work on my awareness. Very important to work on your awareness, yes. My eczema is fucking off from my elbow. Oh, excellent. Just all of a sudden showed up on my elbow like 2 days ago, and now it's fucking off. I heard that eczema can spread to the... Yeah, I've seen a few people over the years with really bad eczema, and I've always wondered what caused... Like, I got really bad acne, but, like, it wasn't just acne. I used to get these, like, cysts on my cheeks and on my neck and shit, like... I still do get now and again. I only had one a while ago, like... Mad shit, like... I'm assuming it's, like, you know... Like, I think it's, like, a low level or moderate allergy to something in your system. And I recently enough found out that, like, you can be allergic to, like, stuff like cortisol and shit, like, you know. So if you're, like, really stressed out and traumatized over a long period of time, it can manifest in stuff like that. And it can, like, you know, also manifest in shit like, you know, tumors or some like a problem with your organs or loads of shit. Like, you know, people think that like you get stressed out, you get a headache, you get stressed out, you might have like some stomach, like irritable bowel syndrome, or you get stressed out, or you might have like, you know, some tight shoulders or like stiff neck or a bad back or something. Like it's everything. It's all connected. It's weird how health actually works. From what I can tell, is a lot of it is mental, you know. When my dermatites show, I know I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, like I see it as a sign now, where like if I get like some kind of skin thing, or if my stomach feels real off, or I feel real run down, I'm like, I have caused this. I've done something wrong. I've done something my body doesn't like. Which I think is the proper way to look at it, like, rather than oh, I must have come in contact with something, or like somebody, that guy in work who was like sniffling like I'm after catching a cold or something, because quite often thinking like that can actually make you worse than you actually were. The second you like think about stuff like placebos, like, you know what I mean, it's just like so it's weird. There really is like a revolution of knowledge happening the last few years. Starting to see loads of people now talk about what would have been seen as, like, you know, relatively esoteric shit a few years ago. We're starting to see it more in the mainstream, which is a good sign, like, you know. Paintingu. Paintingu.
Ah, the female is in the chatu.
You deleted a message by mistake.
A female is inadvertently being a modu. Everybody say hello to my gloriously beautiful female.
I lost my job last month. I stood up for myself and they fired me for it. So that's what kind of kicked the stress up. What was the context? What did you stand firm against? What hill did you die on? Before that, I worked at a pet store where I confronted the owner for negligence and malnutrition of the pets. He's apparently got plenty of friends in town, so it's been difficult to get a new job. Dickheads. She came and found you in the bathroom and you're just like, fuck you, bitch! I made mistakes and she called out my name and one other in front of everybody. So you fucked up, but like what? She called out my name and one other in front of everybody. So she embarrassed you in front of the other workers? That is so fucking wrong. You don't do that. That's how you create animosity in the workplace. Yeah, like, you do that in the military, you don't do that in just a job. You know? You're not supposed to do that. That is pretty, like... You wouldn't even do that in school. Like, do you know what I mean? Like... Now, don't get me wrong, depending on the business... You know... Especially doing it to a female. Like, do you know what I mean? So I left to go calm down in the bathroom. She fucking went and found you, Jesus Christ. Was it a male or a female? She, yeah, so it was a female boss. Yeah, like she said, given the small amount of information, it sounds like she's just a fucking power tripping cunt. She should have known better than that. With the state of with the state of society these days, like working in an office or like working anywhere can be difficult nowadays because like of this whole, you know, the social justice shite, like the way it's all panned out. Like people are so anxious and stressed out and afraid of like speaking their mind and stuff and all, like, and then you have stuff like that where people who shouldn't be in charge are in charge, and what that results in is just like absolute like really stupid shit going on in the workplace. Like, it's unfortunate, but at least for the moment it is the way it is. Like, just have to deal with it. Like, or if you can, if you're in a position like me to work for yourself, then I would suggest trying it, you know. Even like me, if you're making like fuck all money in the beginning, it's worth it, especially for your mental health. I was so sick and tired of taking people's shit that like I was getting to the stage where like I would fucking just snap at somebody in a workplace, like, you know, and that's not a healthy mental state to be in. Like, the most important thing in your life is your health. You need to be healthy to do anything, so that should always come first. I hope you told her to go fuck herself. She's friends with the boss. They're paying $20 an hour, so they probably think it's okay to treat people like that. Imagine thinking that, though. Imagine thinking because you pay people 20 quid an hour, you can treat them like shit. Like, it's hilarious. It was at a cannabis processing plant. Oh man, I can only imagine the type of hipster carpet munching douchebag bitch she probably was, like. Yeah, if you don't stand your ground, like, societally, like, you know, whether it be like at the workplace with like basically strangers or just like, you know, work acquaintances, like, and then especially it's even worse with your family and your friends. If you don't establish boundaries and like assert yourself and be like, I'm not going to put up with X, Y, and Z, you know, conflict is important. I know a lot of people are conflict avoidant, especially, but like I was conflict avoidant to a degree with the people that I was closest with, because I didn't want to fight with them, because I came from a divorced home. So I had years of people arguing with each other and I was sick of it. So like I avoided conflict with my friends, and even more so I avoided conflict with my friends because they didn't know how to fight or have an argument. They just wanted to like throw hands. You know, like, which is so stupid when all you want to do is have an argument over like a benign thing, you know. But people's egos are so sensitive that, like, you know, you can just say something that, as far as you're concerned, is like benign and just an observation of reality, and somebody will have like a total meltdown because of how that, like, how they receive that information, and then they like, you know, they project, and they're like, you know, oh, so what, you think you're better than me, kind of thing, like, you know, the fucking, it's crazy how people can be like, and that's what it sounds like, that kind of person, like, you know what I mean, who's like, you know, I'm in charge, I'm just gonna treat you like shit, you know, I'm gonna, you know, assume things and like make massive assumptions and treat you with apathy and all this fucking shit, like I always made it very apparent, even in work, that like if somebody spoke to me like I was less than or like a child, oh man, so who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, it's crazy. Like I haven't had to do it often, but like, and it's unpleasant sometimes, you know. I mean, sometimes it feels good, put people in their place, you know. But sometimes it can be unpleasant because it's so unnecessary sometimes, you know, rationally. But it's irrational and emotional shit generally that leads to those confrontations. It's like, you've hurt my feelings. It's like, I don't care about your feelings. Just put the rice on the right shelf, you dumb fuck. Like, you know. But then there's the opposite of like, I work really hard and you treat me like shit. You know, like, that's where I was at. Sick of like doing a good job and it feeling pointless, you know. Especially when you see other people like not working or doing as little work as possible, or like when you see somebody being like a fucking, like, especially the nepotism, like when somebody literally only has a job because daddy gave them a job, and they have all the advantages given to them, and they just become arrogant, self-centered babies, and they don't appreciate what they have. So when you see them and you're like busting your ass for like half the shit they're getting, you get those moments where you're like, why the fuck am I trying this hard when people like that exist? Like, what the fuck? Like, it can be really frustrating. Like, today's world, in so many ways, that's what I faced a lot, and I think that's what a lot of people face, is like a seemingly insurmountable amount of frustration because of the contradictions and the hypocrisy and the insane behavior from people who have power that they shouldn't, you know. It can and does drive people insane. I bought a cooked chicken for Sambo's when I get home, and I am so excited to have it. You're gonna make me. I'm salivating now. Like, I read that and I started like salivating. Oh my god. When do you get home? Are you coming home now? I tried pleasing everybody too much and lost myself. Not anymore. Yeah, that happens to a lot of people. That's really common. You become the people pleaser because you don't want conflict, so you just want to keep everybody happy. But then you're constantly putting everyone else before you. So you never get a moment where you're like, I want to do this and I'm going to do it, because everybody else gets in the way. It's like, it's not how you should live. Like, do you know what I mean? Not at all. Like, I used to do that. I used to put my friends before my female, and like that caused so much fucking awkward, like horrible, frustrating energy in our relationship for a while, because like I didn't know how to like it was so stupid. Like I felt like I couldn't tell my friends to leave at a reasonable hour, because it wasn't the normal thing, because we spent years just smoking weed till like 3 in the morning playing video games. But when I have a woman who like lives with me now, you know, like I have a live-in girlfriend who has a job, who has to get up early in the morning, and I'm like, I don't actually have to call it at 10 o'clock, but I should. It's a responsible thing to do. And trying to establish a new responsible routine when you've just been a degenerate weed smoking gamer for like 8 years in a row was so fucking stressful and difficult. To like try and do it in a polite way without people feeling offended or freaking out. It was crazy. It was honestly crazy. Like when I look back on it, like no one should have to put up with the bullshit that I put up with from my family, from my friends. Loads of the behavior was totally not normal. Like a rational, well put together, well raised human being would never behave in that manner. But my friends were traumatized train wrecks, just like me. That's why they were my friends, because I was also a traumatized train wreck. And misery loves company. But when you try to get out of a situation like that, quite often the people who like at the time feel and you think are like your best friends that you're gonna have for life, what they actually are and what they become is the crabs in the bucket that are trying to keep you down. And you need to like rip yourself out of that paradigm and like heal yourself mentally, physically and spiritually and all these things, and move the fuck on with your life. And it can be an incredibly stressful and like difficult thing to do, like, you know. And there's loads of different contexts, like, you know. You could like, everything in your life could be fine, but the people at your job suck, you know. And that will eventually start, like, depending on how you're dealing with that or not dealing with it, you'll eventually end up bringing all that shit home, you know. So then you'll have to change how you deal with your job or find a new job, which is not an easy thing to do, you know. It's not like you can just go, I don't like this anymore, I'm going to get a new job, and then within a few days you have a new job. It's weeks of, what am I going to do about this? What am I going to do if I don't get a job? Like, you know, what am I going to, like, it's just stress because of the unknown, fear of loss, fear of failure, all these things. Like, a lot of that is actually a result of people not believing in God, you know, in my humble opinion. I think all of the fucking modern, all of the modernity and idiocracy led to a ton of atheism, because they were like, oh, we don't need God anymore, we have science, you know, like, so that's how you get a lot of people who can't handle stress or conflict or, like, you know, any, like, they can't handle the dark, because as far as they're concerned, science has an answer for everything, and it doesn't have an answer for it. It has an answer for fuck all, really, like, when you look at the grand scheme of things. And God and faith, the concept of God and the concept of faith gets removed from a society when everybody becomes atheistic and fucking secular. That's not to say that science and secularism and like logic don't have a place. Of course they do. But like when loads of people go, oh, we don't need God anymore. Yeah, you get an entire society that has no idea how to deal with stress, hard times, you know, the voices in your head, fucking like the concept of sin, like, you know, the consequences of poor behavior and shit. Like, it's, to me, a lot of it is like really obvious. But then when you start talking about it, people are like, yeah, you know, like. But for people like me, I see all the shit and I see what it is, and then I get so frustrated and wound up because I'm like, this is ridiculous, yeah? And like most people are like, yeah, this is ridiculous, and I'm like, so what are we gonna do about it? And everyone's like, I don't know. Like, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? like, oh, it's so funny. Like that fundamental feeling is one of the main reasons why I'm, a loyal member of the bear community and a massive fan. I have a lot of respect for Owen Benjamin, because like he's like basically like just been like, this is how it is, and then all of the professionalism was just like, blackballing him. You're not allowed to say that. You can't say that. We're gonna lose so much money if you say these jokes. Like if you say aloud these blatantly obvious things, then we can't continue our grifts and cons and like spells and shit, and that's gonna cost us a lot of money and stress. So fuck you, like, it makes sense, it does make sense, but it's like, it's so fucked up that we live in a time where like someone can't just go it's just, that's what it costs. Like, it's so fucked up that we live in a time where speaking the truth results in you being vilified. That's insane. That's fucking utterly insane. And that's one of the reasons why like people like me get so annoyed and angry, to the point where it's like, if I was in charge, I would just like butcher so many people. Like, like I would just like, I'd have a vetting system that was just like, if they say these things or if they behave in these ways, like if there's, if they tick these boxes, fucking glass the place. Like, kidnap the children, kidnap the women and children, as many as you can, and then fucking glass the place. I'm sick of them. And that's why people like me probably shouldn't be in charge. Nepotism is like, it's like, inherited shit. I actually don't know how to define it articulately. Nepotism is like it's essentially unearned wealth and status, because like, simply because your father or family or whatever has access to resources and authority or titles or whatever, that immediately means that you have access to it, So it's like instead of like, because you can inherit shit and still be like a hard-working moral person because you were raised right. Nepotism is more like, at least the connotation of it from what I've seen, nepotism is like when you have these families with a shit ton of money and they just give their kids jobs and then they run the businesses into the ground because they don't actually know how to run the business. They were just given it because it's their inheritance, It's like the negative side of the family structure, where you have families that like, make an empire out of like selling pharmaceuticals or some shit, like, and then they have a few kids and their kids all turn out to be lame and gay because they didn't actually like raise their children. They just like this is probably not the like, I'm gonna look up the definition of nepotism and I'm gonna be like so wrong. Like, it's just like, that's what nepotism means to me, is like people getting shit they shouldn't. The practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs. So it's regardless of, it's the opposite of a meritocracy. It has no, it requires no merit. It requires no labor. It requires no efficiency. It requires no skill. It requires no learning. It is simply gifted to you because you are a blood relative, And this quite often results in businesses and corporations and all sorts of things of like failing utterly, because it's like, well, daddy gave me the job because he's my daddy. Ah, my female has arrived. Bearing chicken. Will I call it a day, or what do you think? What? I'm not asking if you mind. I'm asking, like, will we stop and have lunch and shit? Yeah, okay. Ugh. I can't hear you. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I've never fired a gun, but if I could, I'd get one of those lever Winchester carabines. Yeah, lever action rifles are fucking awesome. Maybe not, but they're a brand that has been around. Well, Winchester. Yeah, I've heard there's other lever actions that are better than Winchester. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Most jobs work with. Okay, so maybe it's more like power. Yeah. It's the power people. $7-11 job because you know the owner is nepotism. No, that's not nepotism. Not at all. Chicken. It's like that thing from Tekken 3. Remember Tekken 4 from Tekken 3? Chicken. Right. My beloved Japanites and all you other filthy mortals. I'm afraid today's goo is a short one. We haven't made much progress despite the briefness of this goo. We have a kaiju crab and a kaiju snaker engaging in combat. We shall return to this Tuesday of next week. Monday, we shall be doing... What are we doing Monday? Monday, we will be doing... Meter Musu is rocking gloriously Minu, if I do say so myself. I'm a liking it. It's looking fierce and shiny. So, that is what we will be doing Monday. I shall see you then. Same time, same place, same high-octane paintingu energy. You have literally never watched paint dry like this before. So, remember to smash that like button, like it has insulted your ancestors. And if you have any honor, you will pay for paintingu and click one of the many links in the description. Buy something! Right, in the meantime, be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I shall see you soon. Sayonara.